You are now in the zone. With Taste Test Live. Hosted by Damian Lamar and Blue Francois.
Hey.
Hello.
What's jazzing?
I'm jazzing good today.
That's good to know. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Taste Test Live. I'm Damian Lamar, host of Taste Test on WJCT 89.9 in Jacksonville. And I am happy to be back with my co-host, Blue Francois extraordinaire, ladies and gentlemen.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yes. Taste Test is a weekly 1-hour urban mix show that airs Saturdays and Tuesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are back here on Taste Test Live with the first official podcast of 2019. It's a new year, and we have a new season of Taste Test. And we got quite a bit of stuff to cover tonight, which we'll do in a second. But before we do, Blue, can you tell us a little bit, tell our first-time listeners what Taste Test Live is all about, since we've been gone for so long?
Every week on Taste Test Live podcast, we have a music digestion session and discuss the highlights and happenings of music and entertainment. We interview artists, singers, producers, entrepreneurs, and more.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a bit of a mouthful. And also, too, coming up this year, we'll have more live in-studio performances, and we are also booking guests into March. We're already, first part of January, we're already booked into March. So if you're interested in being a guest on the show, or the radio show for that matter, head over to tastetest.live. That's www.tastetest.live, and we will strongly consider bringing you on. We're going to take a quick moment to introduce our guest. We have a special guest in the studio joining us today, Mr. Chris White, leader and founder of the Katz Downstairz.
Yeah,
welcome.
Greetings. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You also brought your lovely wife, Jihan.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's always a pleasure to see you guys. It really is.
Always
good to see you.
Yeah, when I run into you in the city, out and about, you guys are doing your thing. You know, so in love. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So we're gonna jump right into our first segment. The first segment, for those of you who haven't heard and have not heard of Taste Test Live, we have a segment called "Put This in Your Mouth."
Put it in your mouth.
Oh, God.
This should be interesting.
So, yes, it should be.
Good.
Yes, really tasty. Because again, our podcast is a music digestion podcast. It's all about the taste. So we're going to savor the flavor and put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to put it in your mouth and you let it sit on your tongue.
Yeah. Roll it around.
Roll it around.
Yeah.
Until it melts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blue, what do we have on deck? Who we're going to talk about this week?
Oh, we got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened. Tiffany Haddish had a New Year performance where she bombed out. She was very stressed, and people was ragging on her on Twitter saying that this is the end of her career because she forgot some of her jokes, and she did really bad and got real personal. But Tiffany Haddish is a very talented person. I think that she came from nothing, and there's nothing to stop her. So I wish you the best, Tiffany Haddish. Keep going.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually had the privilege of seeing her when she came to Jacksonville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she performed at the Florida Times Union, the Florida Theater.
Okay.
And her set was good, and you could tell like this was her first time like getting her stride on her on the beginning of her tour. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, the woman who opened up, and I don't remember her name, the woman who did the opening act, she nailed it. This girl came out on stage in a fishnet bodysuit.
Oh, God, yes.
Wow.
Okay.
It was classic. And she was like, y'all like it. Yeah. I mean, it was good. And of course, Tiffany is great. I love Tiffany. Tiffany can do no wrong. So she's still getting that paper.
Yes.
So.
Shouts out to Tiffany Haddish.
Yes.
Also, MTV have reported that their new Coachella lineup, and after Kanye and Timberlake had backed out, Kanye was he backed out because of the stage restrictions, and then Timberlake had some other obligations with his tour that he's about to go on. So they have named Childish Gambino, Tame Impala, and Ariana Grande as replacements for the new lineup for Coachella this year, which will be April. Well, it's like the middle of April, and it's in California. So.
Oh yeah, Coachella's huge. Have either one of you had a chance to go?
Not yet.
Sorta, kinda.
We should make a special trip.
We weren't there for Coachella. We were in California for a business retreat, I guess you could call it. And one of the things that we got to do was ride in a hot air balloon, and so we floated over Coachella Valley.
Oh, so you saw all the little ant bodies at the bottom, like they're enjoying
There
themselves.
were lots of palm trees.
No, it wasn't.
and then there
Coachella
was a lot
wasn't
of
going on.
desert.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was just what
It was just
the
where
site
they
of
had it.
Coachella.
Coachella,
So
yeah.
Okay.
technically,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
we haven't.
No, we
been to
haven't.
Coachella. But we might go.
Yeah.
I mean, your birthday's in April.
Come
so.
on, man. I did.
Just let me know so I can get my coins together.
Come
you know?
on,
Okay.
man.
Yes.
Let's manifest that.
Yes. But this is the year of speaking of manifesting.
Yes, let's talk about it.
You know, I started off with, and we'll get back to this because this is how it works. I started off my year with something called the Oath of Manifestation.
Okay.
And I have been repeating the Oath of Manifestation since January 1, and I have been manifesting things positively in my life and negatively. When you manifest, you manifest. So you have to be very careful how you think and what you say out of your mouth.
I agree.
And who you align yourself with. So, but manifestation is real. It is definitely the year of manifestation, no doubt. So, whatever you're thinking, you're gonna get. All right.
I agree.
Yeah. So
Power of the mind. It's we can create our realities. We do
Yes.
create our realities for better or for worse.
That's right.
Before we
I
got
created this right now. That's why y'all sitting here.
Exactly. Hey, we
I
were in
love it.
synchronization
I
because
manifested you because I needed to see your face.
before we left the house, I was like, I want to be on the radio tonight, but I didn't say that out loud. And then you asked,
you
and I was like,
manifested.
hey. So here I
See?
am.
I was manipulated by her manifestation.
Who manifested what?
Who manifested who? Hey.
Like that meme.
Right.
It's like woke meme.
Yup.
I love memes.
Wow.
I do. All right, so let's get Blue back to put this in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
What else we talk about?
We're gonna get to the juicy stuff. One last thing. Oh well, two last things. On I think it was on the 7th, Blue Ivy had her birthday. Beyonce and Jay-Z daughter.
How old is she now?
She's 7.
No,
wait.
not.
She's
She might be. She's gotten
Wow.
big, man.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Anyway, she had a birthday on January 7th.
Wow.
So happy belated
Happy
birthday to Blue
birthday.
Ivy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Blue.
I think she is 7.
She might be.
Yeah.
It just
can
sounds
see
like
that.
it sounds like a long
Yeah.
time.
Jesus Christ. Nah,
I
it's
saw
probably
a
like
picture
5,
of her, and
bro.
she has gotten so big, man.
You're
so she
right,
could
yeah. And
I'ma
then she
look
did
that
have
up.
the twins. Maybe I'm thinking about the twins because they're small.
Yeah, she just had them, yeah. And also the Golden Globe winners of 2019. One of my, I'm not gonna go through a list because a lot of them, but did you ever see that movie, The Green Book?
I haven't. No,
I
you
want
should
to.
see
I
it.
haven't seen it.
It's a
Y'all
so
should see
it's
it.
a movie based
Yeah.
on a book.
It's based off an African pianist, and African American. Well, no, African pianist, and he was this big time, African pianist, and he hired, and this was in the '60s, and he hired a Italian, driver, and they went through he took it upon himself to do like a tour. And I don't want to tell the movie, but it's very good. It actually kind of give you a synopsis of what mega like people who had like talent, like major talent,
Yeah.
and how we were perceived, but they still was they still had to submit to these regulation laws of the the South,
which is
Mason-Dixon
true
line.
today in some cultures.
Yeah, and it
Still.
was so riveting because you could see both coaches getting to know each other, and it was amazing. So I don't want to tell the story for anybody, but The Green Book, y'all should see it. Anyway, I think it won an award for best drama. It was listed as a drama comedy. It had some dry comedy in it, so I don't know why it was listed as drama comedy, but it won best drama. And also Bohemian Rhapsody got best
Nice.
won an award for best directed, something like that. So,
Did Black Panther get nominated?
nah.
It didn't.
I think they got
saw
nominated for.
I think
something I saw.
they did get nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
wait, look. Oh yeah, I think they was nominated, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
not
it-
win. But
Yeah.
I don't think another superhero movie has ever been nominated.
This is true.
Which is kind of.
We were talking
kinda
about that
dope.
this morning because, we were wondering how they came away without any awards. Chris was talking about that. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, with the Golden Globes, that's not really the whole superhero realm. People
Right.
are building respect for that as a genre, but as far as I know, the Golden Globes don't really readily recognize.
Yeah, right.
superhero
So for them to
movies.
get
They
nominated
did get nominated,
is
and
dope.
it was beat out by Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
They got
Spider-Man?
Best Motion Picture Animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So they were nominated.
So Into the Spider-Verse won?
Yeah,
I'm making
Best-
faces. I'm
I
making
don't know
faces
how
over
I
here.
feel about
So
that.
NewYorkTimes.com reported.
Well, I'm gonna just say it was a Spider-Man of color, so which was still kind of dope,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
That
Yeah.
that
So
I
it's
don't
kinda
know
dope.
I don't really watch any of the award shows anymore, but to me that immediately just feels like a throwaway. Like, what is the criteria that they base these awards on? Because
Right.
if
Very
you're
good
putting the
question.
movies up against each other for revenue, Spider-Man hasn't even been out long enough to come close to the colossal amounts of money
Yeah.
that Black Panther won. Again, I don't know what the criteria is, and then it's still, I mean, it's new. Black Panther came out last February,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
most of
mean,
these movies were released like maybe
smashed it.
a couple months ago.
Exactly.
But,
Yes, but
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse was like
December,
fairly recent.
November,
Yeah, like a
So they
few weeks
slid
ago.
in, I guess, under the wire for the
So,
nomination process.
You're telling me that it was, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but it was that impressive that it was able to just completely overshadow Black Panther. That was a cultural phenomenon. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
That feels wrong.
It's awkward.
It's awkward.
It's a little awkward. Yeah.
But I digress.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess we were saving the best for last. Is that all that we
Chris
got?
Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown. Oh yeah. This is kind of huge because I mean, as musicians, we all know the importance of owning your masters. And I'll quote Erykah Badu. She would always say she's freeing the slaves and the slave masters. But what she was talking about when you think about a hard drive, you have a slave drive and you have a master hard drive.
Yeah.
So when that turn came about, it's important if you were a musician or an artist to really own your masters. And we hear stories all the time. You see it in the industry all the time when this artist doesn't have full access to their masters, and the label or the publisher or whoever has full access of it and will not release the information, will not allow this artist to get what's rightfully theirs, where they recorded their work. And Chris Brown actually just gained the ownership of his masters in his new RCA deal.
Congrats.
So that's huge, and that's really great. So with that being said, that when you have a master, you have a possibility of going back to that original file. You can create remixes. You can do new mastered versions. He can go back and add new tracks and add additional vocals. The possibilities are endless. Yeah. So that's huge. That's huge. And Toni Braxton, and this reports say that she actually called off her engagement with Birdman.
Boo-hoo.
They were so perfect together.
By whose standards?
She didn't want to be the gangster wife.
They were cute.
No,
they were cute.
They were?
They weren't, though.
You're being
They
nice,
weren't.
man. You're being nice.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't resist. I've been wanting to do it all night.
And I ain't gonna say no more.
I just put some respect on my name. That's all.
I thought about Cardi B when you did that.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about he do that. Yeah, he
But
do
you know
that.
who she borrowed that from? The Birdman. She borrowed it from him, apparently.
I
He's been doing it way
never
before she
knew
came about.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's deep.
all right. So we had to save the worst for the last. Oh gosh.
I feel like this is gonna be like the.
I don't really have too much to say, but I will lead with saying that it has been my honor to have to host a radio show for an entire year, and I've never played this artist one time.
You sure?
I'm positive.
So are you #mute R. Kelly?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Reportedly, R. Kelly is now under criminal investigation based on the release or following the release of Lifetime Network's Surviving R. Kelly, which everybody is talking about. It's a highly talked about, extremely controversial. I did see the first 3 episodes, and something that I saw, they started, I think, on the first episode where this was like a few months ago in March, basically.
Yeah, we talked.
And
about
he
it.
says, I can't quote him specifically, but something to the effect of, why are they waiting 30 years? They should have came out a long time ago and said all this 30 years ago.
Don't they all say that?
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. My personal belief is that I had to stop watching because I was disgusted.
Yeah.
I was disgusted.
It's crazy. I haven't seen it yet, but everybody that I know that has watched it said I couldn't get through the rest of the episode.
Yeah, me either.
It's crazy.
Enough. It's like enough. We heard enough. We heard enough of the same stories. Of course, a lot of these women are coming forward because of the Me Too movement. In my opinion, I feel like a lot of the people that he interviewed, some of the girls that he dated, some Sparkle was on there. He interviewed her. A lot of people, and this is me. This is my opinion. So this isn't factual or true. It hasn't been validated or verified. But I feel like a lot of these women, for whatever reason, they didn't come out because one, they were getting paid. And it's my understanding, based on how the interviews were set up, a lot of these girls were always underage. He was scouting them, or it was said that he was scouting them. And, the parents were involved in that case. So if you have a parent or a guardian that's responsible for you going on tour with R. Kelly, being in his video, recording with him, whatever the case may be, parents are usually in control of their children, or in control of their children's careers, especially if you're in the industry. I find it very interesting that a lot of these parents didn't, some parents said that they were trying to call their daughters, and the phones would ring, and they never answered, and they were worried about it. There's a lot of that was going on, and I don't know if he paid anybody.
He did.
We don't know that. They said it in the interview. So there were reports that people were being paid. There could have been some hush money involved.
Yeah. There's documented settlements on, like, when people tried to, like, when, like, I have a list of timelines because I was studying the case, going back to 2002 when he first went to court, and there were settlements where he settled with some of the allegations outside of court, where both sides can't disclose either,
So were the records expunged in court?
Not expunged.
See, that's where
not expunged.
That's where they messed up.
But I'm talking about, like, the allegation details. I mean, the settlement details of like, hey, you can't say this, can't say that. So some of the people who were featured, and they were like people who were a part of it, but they never got a chance to, like, maybe press charges or go to court or what I'm saying. So these are new people. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I ain't gonna say new people. These are people who were involved in R. Kelly Live, but not people who were brave enough to, go to, maybe kind of like say, hey, I want to press charges on R. Kelly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, in this day and age, I think I take the seat of I'm literally sharing information. I don't know him personally. I don't know. I don't know these people, but I do know that he got married to Aaliyah, and according to the document that was revealed, she was really 15 and not 18. And in most cases, 15-year-old is a minor, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't a minor require their parental consent? Yeah. Okay. So
the only case that I can think where that wouldn't be true is if she was emancipated, but I don't remember hearing anything like that. So yes, she would have had to have some kind of consent.
And one of the interviewers, one of the people they interviewed, she had said that they were all in these bunks, and they have the little curtain on all the bunks. They're laying near the bunks, and the people joke and they take, they're together. And the door swung open, and R. Kelly, it was said that R. Kelly was having sexual relations with Aaliyah. And the parents had come back and said, no, we don't even know who this person was. That's not true. She's lying. But if your child is 15 and you knew your child is married, then your child was having sex with R. Kelly. Even though it was marital, it's still,
Was his music that good for us to
No.
forgive him for
It
all the
was
things he's
never
done?
But
good.
No, but no artist should be that good that we should forgive them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no artist. God rest the dead, man. But we can go back to Michael.
I'd say Michael.
We can go back to a whole bunch of
Elvis.
artists that was Elvis. We can go back to some artists. And the problem was when they were alive, you know, we were so mesmerized by their music that we didn't even venture into their character. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I've never liked R. Kelly. Not as a person. I don't know him as a person. He might be a great person that's misunderstood. I'm just saying because I haven't studied the case enough. I haven't cared enough about R. Kelly to look into his history. He has not been on my radar since she came out. I just know he made music. I know the one song I like is Trapped in the Closet because it's funny, not because it's a dope song. It's a funny video. You know what I'm saying? The thing that I think should be the takeaway from R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, anyone, and the thing that I really think ticks me off on social media is these people already got lawyers defending them that they're paying millions.
Right.
I think instead of people coming on social media and debating about what they think about the person, why don't we highlight the number of women that we know that have been sexually abused? Don't focus on what they did. They already got somebody they paying to defend them. You don't have to defend them on social media. Right. Let their lawyers do that. My thing, I think, is such a beautiful opportunity. I share with Jihan all the time. I know more women, friends, family members. I know more women that have been sexually abused by someone. They have been touched wrong in their life than I don't. And that's a problem that nobody's talking about.
That's so unfortunate.
I'm literally, I know more women that have been touched by a minister, a stepfather, a mother's boyfriend, an uncle, a stepbrother, their own father. I know more women that have been touched wrong at an early age than not.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And I think if we can take the energy to defend people that we just love what they do and their talent and their symbol, if we can take that energy to do that, we need to be talking about women that have been sexually abused all the time.
Right.
Because I see people bickering back and forth. Man, you know, they're about to do a witch hunt on this man, and how you know he did it, and what about the fast women that asked for it, and what? And I'm like,
no.
That's not even because people talk like that. They don't say that she asked for it.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do, but in their words, in between the lines, when they're not trying to say it and not trying to sound like that jerk. Read in between the lines. They're saying what she asked for.
It's victim blaming, and that's what people do because they're comfortable with that. It's easier to make somebody who you want to be skeptical of a target than your precious hero that you've built up in your mind. It's like, I've never been a fan of R. Kelly. Like Chris knows, anybody that knows me knows, R&B is my least favorite genre. Like it makes me want to tear my eyes out. But I can say there are.
Tell them what you don't like about it.
This is not the moment. I'll tell you later.
It's the whining.
It's the whine. Like, why are you begging? Oh my! I can't take a. I'm sorry. We're not going to go down.
It's a good thing I don't play begging music on Christmas.
I wouldn't listen, and I love you, but I can't. I won't do it. But you know, going back to my point, I can admit there are songs, and there have been songs that R. Kelly's been put out, that he's put out, that I've enjoyed. I'm not going to lie about that. But to me, once your character comes into question, everything else kind of goes out the window, or at least it goes on the back burner.
That's like having the rug pulled out from underneath you.
You know,
you're not standing on a rug anymore.
And it's not my place to judge because we don't know. And it's just like Michael. Now, to the complete contrary, I am and was the largest Michael Jackson fan in the world. Okay, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to marry him. He was going to wait at whatever age he was, and I was going to catch up.
Did you own one of those zipper jackets back in the 80s?
I wanted one so bad. And my parents are Jamaican, and they were like, no, you don't need that. So we're not going to do that. But you can sit there, and we'll let you rent Moonwalker as many times as you want. You can sit in your room and look at it, and you'll be fine. But when those allegations came out about Michael, I was upset too. I mean, it feels personal because you develop a relationship with these people that you feel like you know because you connect with them on an emotional level because that's what music does. That's what music does, not the people.
Right.
Music.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, it's disorienting when you hear something like that. But even then, I was like, well, you know what? If Michael did it, I would be greatly disappointed. And the thing is, you know, the crazy thing about it is the internet has changed so much because I personally believe that if the internet had existed throughout history, there's a lot of stuff that we would have known, seen, been privy to because we have real-time reports of everybody's every movement, every waking moment, what you're eating, what you're doing, who you with, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to hide when everything's out in the open.
For those individuals that put it out there.
For those
all
individuals
the
that put it out there.
Yeah.
But even still, there's a certain amount of scrutiny. I mean, the eyes are literally on you. There's always a camera. There's always a phone. You know what I'm saying? There's always something. So the chances and likelihood that you're going to get caught if you're doing wrong are much higher.
Right.
Celebrities back in the day had that allure, you know, and the ironic part, not ironic, but the interesting part about this whole R. Kelly thing is he's existed pre and post internet.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff this stuff, just like Chris has said before, these allegations,
new.
I'm not trying to minimize anything,
Right.
but this is not new.
Yeah.
I remember hearing stories about R. Kelly messing with Aaliyah, and Aaliyah was my girl. I mean, we were like same age
here.
group.
Same here, yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? She was my peer. And I was like, but R. Kelly's old. And then she put out Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and everybody thought it was cute. And I'm like, but are we listening to what is being said?
Surviving R. Kelly, they actually did a little bit of dissecting that song specifically. Right. And when you hear it now, you're like, oh my God.
It's almost incredibly disturbing.
It is. Just very,
like
similar to what they used when they, in over the holidays when they were talking about Baby It's Cold Outside.
Right.
And you know how that's now used in some stations pulled that particular song from their programming as well. So
because it's problematic. No, when you listen to the lyrics, you have a gentleman that's literally trying to keep a woman from getting out his house. She wants to go home, and he's like, "Baby, it's cold outside. I'll get you a drink. It'll be all right. Just get on the couches." And it sounds all cute. And when you're both consenting adults, I suppose that's fine. But when you really look at it, it can be problematic because you got to think about the time period that song came out. You're talking mid-century, right? Like maybe 50s, 60s.
Right.
And look at the culture at that time. You know, women were not able to speak out and defend themselves even a fraction of the amount that we can now. You know, the man's word was just what it was, and rape culture was just overlooked.
The first
that's
words
just
in the song is, "I wish I could stay."
But baby, it's cold outside.
Right.
And then at one point she's like, the answer is no. And he's still talking about it's cold outside. And I'm like, but dude, you know?
Wow.
So
It makes for a good jingle.
Wow.
I mean, I've enjoyed the song myself.
of course.
But when you really, like you said, when you dissect it and you break it apart, it's like, I mean, it's sad because rape culture has just been so ingrained in us that we all overlook it, or we can easily overlook it if we're not paying attention.
You know what? Let me say this. Are we taking too much time on this topic?
No, as much time as you need.
So I there's something, and I challenge men sometimes when I'm in a group and we're just talking about, especially when it talks about female and male roles that we created, archetypes, and nobody really thinks, like, for instance, all right, so if we go to religion, every religion, God is a he, right? All of God's prophets are he's, right? Father God, you know, women take on our last names. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that we've just accepted. And then what we do from a religious standpoint, we say, well, this is what he wants. You know, women subject to your men. Men, you know, women, you're the wife. She bore Jesus. Mary is special because she bore a son. You know what I'm saying? Everything from the foundation, like all of our archetypes are male driven, and women become these things. Even when you go to the Bible, David was a man after God's own heart, but he had tons of, you know, he had concubines. He had hundreds of concubines.
He lusted after somebody else's wife.
Lusted after some, but even before that, he already had women on the side. He had hundreds of concubines, wives, plural.
And so did his son Solomon.
So we're looking at just the culture as was created from the beginning, or westernized. You know, when you westernize Eastern religions, especially when you go to the Bible, you made it from I don't want to say a European standpoint, but from a patriarchal standpoint. So women from our societal view are just things. And nobody wants to talk about that, but it's like this huge elephant that's in the middle of the planet, of the room.
Yeah.
And this is worldwide. Women are things. Like, there are things for us to enjoy. Men see nothing. If a woman might not be feeling well, she don't want to be a sexual object, but you say, hey, shorty, you look good, or you fine, girl, or what, and then she give you attitude because I don't feel like being bothered, sir. I don't feel sexy today. I don't even want to be looked at that way.
Or they just don't know you,
and
we're not familiar, and you're not allowed to talk to me like that. And if I say that I don't want it, then you should just back off.
But now you the B word.
Simple.
Now you the B word,
Right,
but it's
right.
not that. I just, I don't want to respond to you. Maybe I don't find you attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But now you the B word. But they're things to men. Women are things to men, and we don't realize that. Sometimes, I had to tell my homeboy sometimes, like, yo, stop looking at her like that. Because if a gay man looked at you like that, you'll want to fight.
Right.
Right? Now, he ain't got to touch you. He don't have to say nothing to you. He just looking at you in a lustful way. Now it's a problem. Well, maybe that woman feels the same way.
Exactly.
Just look and keep moving, man. Stop acting like she is here for you to this is a subject for you. She's here for your pleasure, and she shouldn't get mad. I'm complimenting her for looking at her like that. No, you're looking at her like she's a thing.
Right. An object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one next to her like she's a thing, and the one, it's not right, man. We got to start thinking about that in our society.
Let me ask you a quick question. I hope this is not offensive, but looking at Catholic priests and looking at R. Kelly or maybe Michael Jackson, I'm noticing now, just looking at news and just remember when I was growing up, where's this fascination, this fascination of older people, taking accustomed to having attraction to kids, like, or where is that
people
come
in
from?
authority? Let's say.
Oh, okay. I say
people in leadership positions,
Yeah,
people in positions of authority, people
Yeah.
in positions of power.
Yeah, like what? What is the?
That's what it really comes down
fascination?
to.
Is it like?
It's a boost of your ego. It makes you feel.
Is it a manipulation? Like, oh, they.
It's-
I think it makes you have these targets that are easy prey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we want to talk about the situation with Aaliyah. Yeah, she was 15 and she got married and this, that, and the third, but she was 15.
Exactly. Zero experience.
Like, you don't know. Okay, I gotta listen. I'm in the middle of my 30s and I still don't know what's happening. So I can't even, you know what I'm saying, conceptualize.
Right.
Like, what are you thinking as a 15? You think you know,
She
but
did
you
Dame
don't.
Dash around
So-
17 and 18.
Thank you. Okay,
Jay-Z.
So that's like, you have to think about that mindset. You've got a subject or a victim that can't truly defend themselves. They don't have people around them that are doing right by them. That's because that's what your people and your parents are supposed to do. It's not up to you as a 15-year-old child to bear the full responsibility of defending yourself against a predator, because that's really what it is. And then the people around you are not doing it. So you're getting in this mindset where you think it's normal. It's a new norm. It's a survival technique, really. Because even if it feels wrong inside of you, you've got to cope. It's a coping mechanism. We're all human and we all have to live through this. It's amazing the amount of trauma that can become normalized when you don't have somebody around you, or the mindset in your own self to say, you know what, this is wrong and I am going to act out against it. You're not going to do this to me. And then when that becomes normalized, it's like this thing. So, I mean, even with like the Catholic priest thing that you're talking about, these are little boys. They're children. You know, they can't defend themselves. Exactly. And people, grown-ups, the responsible ones around them that are supposed to be taking care of them and defending them are turning a blind eye. So the onus is on them. The predator is one thing, and that needs to be dealt with. But the people around them need to call them to task too, because some of these people might be sick. Maybe you're sick, and maybe you need some mental help. It's not an excuse, but it could be an explanation. Maybe. Yeah. But where are the rest of the adults?
Right.
Where's everybody else?
That's a good question.
I came from a telling family.
Okay.
My sisters, they tell on everything.
That was something, and it's crazy. You know, again, Chris and I mean, anybody that knows us knows that we stay in that headspace. We talk to each other all the time. That's one of the things I love about him. He can keep up with this that's going on in my head. And we talk about that. It's like, you know, it's crazy the amount of stuff people just get away with and don't pay attention to, and really just
I want to close with something sort of comical, but not. Okay. I found this post. This was, and I'm gonna read her Instagram name. It's mz.dez.rae. Ms. Desiree. She posted, R. Kelly told y'all 23 years ago his mind was telling him no, but his body was telling him yes. he ain't seen nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. He been filling on and putting his keys in the ignition since day one. If they seem like they ain't ready, he got half on the baby. He told them to keep it on the down low, or else they gonna end up trapped in the closet. Nobody was paying attention. And she says, "Where's the lie?"
There you go.
So it's interesting how they like took all his songs and wrote that down. Very, very interesting. I really hope this comes to it's at a head, but I hope it's lanced pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know, it's this type of negative media. It seems that the media accentuates a lot of the negativity, and that's all we're consumed with, instead of talking about the who got elected to Congress or what positive changes are actually really transpiring.
Talking about Flint, Michigan.
Right. You know, everything, it seems like it's being the focus is taken off of what's really happening and put on to, the song and pony, the dance and pony show, so that we can not really be focused on what the real issues are. So hopefully this year we learn from that and not succumb to the negative.
I think it's becoming the norm, though. I think the distraction.
It's unfortunate.
Because it's something every week.
Yeah.
Kanye 1 week, R. Kelly 1 week, the dude in the White House the next week. There's some names I just don't speak.
Yeah.
It's very deliberate. And I think once you realize that, because there's nothing overall or essentially wrong with social media. There's nothing really overall with the media as far as at least being informed. You can be informed, but we're so plugged in and we're so constantly and consistently just jacked into this unyielding flow of foolishness that you can't really see straight. So, it's important for you to, what I do, I duck my head in. I heard about the whole R. Kelly thing. I'm not going to watch it. I don't need to, because like she said, 23 years ago, this is not new. No,
exactly.
It's not. Just let me know when he's been convicted, if he's been convicted. And even that, it's still not my business, because at the end of the day, there's still a long line of victims who are going to have to live with the trauma that has been inflicted upon them. Those are the people that I'm concerned about. Yeah. And if you really call yourself a humanist, or if you care about people, if you're a true Christian and you really have compassion, or whatever your faith base is, or whatever your belief system is, and you really care about people, you'll stay focused on that, because at the end of the day, R. Kelly is going to be fine.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about the victims more.
Yeah.
Let's talk the victims that don't have a high profile predator.
And what damage is being done to his children.
As children that are now adults.
Right.
So,
yeah. So we're going to take a quick break and let's digest what we just talked about. Pretty hefty. And I had to save that for the last, because that's, again, we're pretty topical when we talk about these things. But, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Welcome back to Taste Test Live. Again, I'm the host, Damian Lamar, and we're here with Blue Francois.
Yes, we're back.
As well as Chris White, leader and founder of the Katz Downstairz, and his lovely wife, Jihan. So, welcome again.
Thank you for having us.
We're not going to continue the conversation that we spoke about earlier.
High frequency.
But let's change the subject and raise the vibration and talk about you, why you're here. I have to say, Chris, my point of reference is very interesting. I met you in the band room at Jean Ribaud Junior High School under the direction of Mr. Johnson.
Come on.
And I was in the woodwind section. I played tenor sax, and I was struggling. But I was struggling because I had issues, family issues, but stuff was going on in my life, and I was struggling. I was one of those kids that just couldn't get it together. And I'm not afraid to admit that. So you played tenor sax. No, you played alto sax, that I recall.
At Ribaud Junior,
Yeah.
which is so crazy because everything is middle school now.
Right.
At Ribaud Junior, it said something about how old.
Yeah. So speaking of which, we were in school when junior high was 7th, 8th, and 9th.
You got it.
And if you're in the same graduating class, you were never a freshman because they engrafted 9th grade into high school.
No. Correction.
Was that the last one?
No. Junior high was just 8th and 9th grade because we had Sandalwood and then we had Ocean Way 7th grade center. So junior high,
because they were 6th grade centers.
You got it.
That's right.
So now middle
7th
school
and
is
8th.
7th through.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes, the middle school now is 6th, 7th, and 8th, but we only had 8th and 9th grade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. So you played. Okay, so the instruments that you played tenor,
alto,
sax,
and baritone.
alto and baritone.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I played alto and baritone. He might have put me on tenor one year, but I know I played. I love the baritone. Man.
Yeah. And you still play to this day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You become married to your instrument outside of Jihan.
I got. We're falling back in love. Life happens, and you just, we went through the motions for a couple of years, and now we're falling back in love. So yeah.
All right. I always joke because there's a new artist. I play him on my show. His name is Masego.
I love
yes,
Masego.
Yeah, Masego. If you listen on Tuesday night, you'll hear there's I have two Masego where he's featured on 2 separate tracks that I'm playing because I like him just that much.
Nice.
But I found it very interesting when he did his song Ta-da! And there's a video of him playing. But I've always said, growing up, it's so hard to sing and play the saxophone at the same time.
I always wish I
That's
could.
why-
I can't sing, but I wish
like,
I could.
That's why I don't play. And, it's so hard to carry that thing around. Man, this guy plays his saxophone and he just nails it.
Dude is dope.
And he sings
Yeah.
at the same time. So, yeah.
I like his style too. He wears like the silk shirts,
Oh,
old
yeah.
school. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He is Jamaican. So,
yeah. Okay.
I learned something new.
That's my people.
Yeah.
We love a silk shirt.
It's all about the feel.
Yes.
Everything I read.
Everything Irish.
It's all about the feel. So Chris, I'm gonna just do a quick for those of you who guys don't know what Katz Downstairz. The Katz Downstairz is a Jacksonville-based band, and they've been around for
Now is
July is going to be what, 9 years?
9 years.
long time, guys,
Yeah.
long time. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm reading this information from your Facebook, but the band members comprise of Christopher White, saxophonist and vocalist, also known as Professor. So it's nice to meet you, Professor.
Yes.
Don D.G. Green on trumpet and vocals, Shania or Kina Eichelberger on vocals. Shekinah. And then Rashard Lavender on keyboards. Ivan Trouble Ray. He does vocals and trombone. Also Brian or Ike Eichelberger is on keys and bass. And then Chris Stafford, he's also on bass. And Angela Roberts or Child is on vocals. I'm going to do a quick.
You got one more.
One more. We got one more.
Devin Way.
Devin Way.
Devin Way.
Now, let me
Devin.
tell you.
Young Devin.
Devin is also going to be a guest. We already got him booked. He's going to be a guest in March.
Yeah. Yay.
I've known Devin since he was a baby. His father and I grew up in the same church, and I watched his father 1 year. He played drums one Sunday. They like, Gerald, get on those drums. Play the drums. We don't have a drummer. He got on. He played the drums. He mastered the drums, and then he started sticking around after church and playing with the organ. He's the most phenomenal organist I know to this day. He plays and he sings. He's a fantastic organ player. And I love Erykah Badu. I try to use her quotes as much as possible. She always refers to her children as being an improvement on the design. And I think that Devin Way is an improvement on his father's design.
Amen.
He's gonna
On his
love to hear
parents'
that,
design.
man.
Yeah, he is. I can't wait to get him in the studio. I know he's actively working on some new material in addition to the stuff that he's working on with Katz Downstairz. But man, okay, so over the last 9 years, Katz Downstairz has become a household name here in Jacksonville, Florida, providing an unprecedented and unique sound that is an amalgamation of jazz, hip hop, neo soul, rock, and rhythm and blues. And they have an unmistakable undertone. They are also unrivaled in the city's current music scene. We'll talk about that in a second. They used to have a bi-weekly live basement party that was one of the most highly anticipated and well-attending events in downtown Jacksonville.
Yes.
Reminiscent of back in the day type house party, and the throwback style is both appealing and refreshing, and it's a breath of fresh air. And I have to say that you guys have a way of bringing the masses out because you have curated and created a sound that is uniquely your own for 9 consecutive years, and you're to be commended for that. So it's a pleasure to finally get somebody from Katz Downstairz in here, finally. And I'm glad I got the person at the top. So
honored, man.
Yeah,
Honored.
yeah.
Thank you.
So what's up with the Katz Downstairz? What are you guys up to now?
So Katz Downstairz, we are definitely expanding. So I'll say it's two branches of it right now. We're expanding with original music, constantly working on originals. So I would say by the summer we should be dropping it. We're not going to drop them. We're trying to work on a full project before we release a single, but everything else we want to finish a project, complete a project that we're, fingers crossed, will be released by the summer. That's what we're shooting for. So original music is the next direction we're going in. And it's original music. I mean, we're not trying to reinvent ourselves or relive our 20s or anything like that. Just being honest with you.
Yeah.
We're making music for people that dig us. You're not going to see me on stage with any skinny jeans on. nobody's
I
trying
actually can imagine that.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So we're not trying to be something other than what we are. And so that's one thing as far as the original music. The other thing is we're still doing covers, but we're trying to create more of things to help change the culture.
Yeah.
The culture of Jacksonville is really important to us because what I've come to realize is my generation and the generation right behind me, we have become cogs in the machine. We have to build something for the next generation. Mm-hmm. So what the Katz Downstairz is doing, you'll see us at the Landing. And the Landing is huge for us because you see everybody of every age group.
Yeah.
I mean, when they come out, you have kids, 5-year-old dancing.
All walks of life.
15. The other day we had, I just called her mother the whole time. She looked like she was about 70, just getting it in. And then you have parents. And then, so that's the thing where we're trying to, you have to raise the vibration to a certain frequency. Mm-hmm. And so our shows are not just about, playing music and just getting up there and people like, the Katz and we love you. It's about what kind of culture are we creating? How are we changing the vibration and the frequency of the city? So it's all about the positivity. We're bringing people together with that. And then last Friday, we had an event. We're doing like socials right now. So we had an autumn social. We did a winter social, which is more of like a upscale. We're going to do a spring social. And summer social, I'm hoping it's like at a mansion or something, a pool party or something. We just want to do. So we're trying to do something because Jacksonville has so much talent, so much potential, but lacks so much vision.
Exactly. Exactly.
We lack vision.
That bears repeating.
Yeah, we have so much talent, we have so much potential, but we lack vision. And I think what happened, the recognition or the ego sometimes eclipse the potential that we could have. If we could just think of a city growing and not just me being recognized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the Katz Downstairz are about the city growing. We partner up with a lot of people. We appreciate the people. Like I know fans' names. I know their kids now, and you've had families that have grown with us, like literally.
Yeah.
And so, we don't go on break and just go somewhere and just be off to the set and be like, we go mingle. We dance with the fans. We meet people. So it's more of just making money and doing music. We're trying to do something for the culture of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like come out and dance and don't care about who's watching. It's not no VIP section over here. You're not profiling off at the club. Like get off your phone and dance.
That's it.
Get out of this and get into your happiness. Like dance like nobody's watching. Dance like you at the house. And when people come to our shows, that's what happened. People just dance. It's almost like, it was a dude I met one time. I can't say dude was hood. I don't really know, but he looked like, he was kind of rough around the edges. And he was telling somebody in the band, he was like, man, I feel lifted when I leave y'all shows, man. It's almost like church. I feel lifted. And so to me, I don't think we're just playing music. We're making people feel God.
Yeah.
Because we're channeling the right energy out to the people. And so you almost get that feel like you've been to church. Like if you had a rough day, people be like, man, I had a rough day, but I just need to come to the show to release, man.
Yeah.
I just love the energy y'all bring. So for me, yeah, we're doing covers, but we're trying to make more shows that create a culture.
Yeah.
I tell you, you don't have to think like Jacksonville. It's just,
I mean,
you know,
it's really
this is worldwide, you know.
My first, I'm thinking now that I'm thinking about it, believe it or not, my first time ever seeing the Katz Downstairz perform was at one of your events, Blue. At Indo Exo.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here's why. This was the point of reference for me. This was the point of reference because you talked about a vibe and talked about an experience. I was like,
yeah.
Who are these people? You know, and I was literally, and it takes a lot for me to like, especially if you're a local act, and I don't mean this in any way disrespectfully to any of my other comrades or, you know, colleagues in the industry here locally, but well, you know, local acts get, it's a local act. They're just saying they're on stage just playing music, and you don't get the same respect that more commercial artists receive. I felt as if I was witnessing a concert that I would have witnessed if I had seen, you know, D'Angelo or
Thank you.
Dave Matthews Band or something to that effect, like where you're like drawn in and you don't care about anything. The lady asking you what you want to drink. Hold on one second. I mean, you're like, literally. I mean, that's like you guys were putting on a show, and you know, the lead singer at the time, really tall girl,
Sierra.
Sierra Murray.
Yeah.
Man,
What's up, Cece?
she just mopped the stage. She mopped it up. So I have to say, you guys, I mean, I've watched your growth, and it's to be commended. I need more music.
It's coming.
But you brought some today.
Yes.
Okay, so set up the track real quick, because we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna play this track, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk to you some more. What do we have today?
So the name of the song is Beautiful. It's by the Katz Downstairz. It's on Spotify. It's on Tidal. It's on Apple Music. It's everywhere you want to be.
All right. There you go. So right here on Taste Test Live, we're listening to Beautiful by the Katz Downstairz.
Yeah.
Have a taste.
We live in a society where images matter. And based on those images, we determine what is good and what is bad, what is ugly and what is beautiful. Because of many of the images of my people in this society, we've forgotten just how beautiful we are. The flow of our hair, the texture and tones of our skin, the rhythm when we walk. We want to remind you in this song that we are beautiful, that black is beautiful. Don't forget it.
Ever be smart enough, ever be worth it all, ever run hard enough. They say that I'm 3/5, still they want these lips, knowing nothing that they do could make them equivalent. But see, if I'm militant, they call me a threat. Reality is I'm already making you sweat. The powers that be know that the power's in me. You can't block the sun's light indefinitely. So I spread these rays as I spread my wings. Spread this magic, I become king that I was intended for. It's in my DNA, but R&B and RAP led we astray. So far we away from being our royalty. Propaganda and lies and our community's poisoning. Our lives matter, these generational scars that keep us reaching for stars but never reaching the stars. Hope I'm reaching y'all.
You're perfect in the skin you're in. You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful. Embrace and love your melanin. You are beautiful, my
MCs on the screens at the movies, and they need to see black athletes use their platform for the people like Muhammad Ali. And can we please stop the minstrel shows in the music industry and get back to artistry, like?
Made me wanna holler.
What's going on? I'm black and I'm proud, and the change is gonna come, but a change won't come if you think you're the one with a seat at the table for a plate full of crumbs. See, cause what you become is they're blind and dumb to the people in the struggle that's on the bottom. Money has no power if you give it to a coward, and speeches sound good, but them actions speak louder. We're more than entertainment, it's time to change it. Melanin in our skin, breathe it in, believe again, cause you are beautiful, my people.
You're perfect in the skin you're in. You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful. Embrace and love your melanin. You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful. And learn to love ourselves within. You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful. Then teach it to our children. You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful. 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 You are beautiful, my people. You are beautiful.
That's so good. That is song. The song is beautiful.
I love it.
It reminds me of what you guys have captured in these 9 years, and how you've so eloquently created something beautiful. It's beautiful. So I can't wait for more. And can you promise me that you'll bring music back to the station?
Yeah.
You'll bring it here
I'll
first?
bring it here first. I'll bring it here first.
Did you see the video of them recording it? Of them putting it together?
No.
So dope.
Really?
You gotta look
How
at
did I miss that?
We did like a promo video. I had it on as a cover for about
Yeah.
almost all last year.
You can hear them
From
talking.
June.
It was kind of like a Questlove, Robert Glasper feel.
It's in black and white. Yes. So the recording we did down in Orlando.
Who recorded that?
Star Lake Studios.
Oh,
but we got it
wow.
mastered here in Jacksonville.
Oh, gotcha.
Mo Henderson
Mo Henderson.
mastered that.
Okay, yeah.
He did the mixing and
Gotcha.
master of it. So yeah.
Dang, that's
All right.
How y'all came up with the concept of?
So are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, we-
so the concept. So the concept. Interesting story. So I've recently gotten into writing music
Oh, whoa.
Hey.
And producing.
and producing some stuff.
Okay, so it sounds like you're tapping into that pineal gland up there.
Tapping into that pineal, man. I've been decalcifying
That's
this for quite
what's
some
up.
time now.
Okay.
So tapping into that. So what happened was I bought an Apple. This is the first time I think I'm really.
So you
I'm
bought
really
a
telling
MacBook?
this. Finally,
Welcome.
and then I came over to an iPhone.
So how was your transition been?
So what happened was I
He
got the
had
Apple
me there
computer.
to help him.
She was there. She helped me
guided
out a
him
lot.
along
She's
the
been
way.
an Apple. I used to talk so much junk about Apple and Android, but so I
Janky
digress.
I'm sorry.
So I bought a Mac, right, and it came with this program called GarageBand.
Yes.
So I was waiting. I was on a new job and I was waiting for all my paperwork to come through, but they were still asking me to come in. And I was like, shoot, you paying me? Bet. So what happened was I just broke out the MacBook and I just started playing around with GarageBand. The track for Beautiful was like one of the third or fourth tracks I
Oh,
made.
wow.
All right?
Nice.
So, and I later on, I'll just let you hear the raw GarageBand track.
Yay.
All right? So what happened was it was an organ that I put in there was like do 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 do. So I started thinking, I was like, you know, because it was during the time when Kaepernick and it was a lot of the black motorists were getting shot a lot. I was tired of seeing rappers just not doing anything that projected positive images. So I said, we're beautiful and nobody's really talking about it. So what happened was I already had a rhyme. The second verse is me. The first verse is Don, the trumpet player in the band. He's rapping the first verse. I'm rapping the second one. So I already had that rap. Don Green is rapping at the beginning, trumpet player and vocalist. I'm rapping the second verse. Both of us already had those raps written. And so my rap starts off, maybe our children need to see Nefertiti on the TV, images of Ramesses on the screens at the movies. So I put that one in there. I had already wrote the chorus line. You're perfect in the skin you're in. Embrace your melanin. So the chorus that you hear being sung, I wrote the chorus for that. For the track I wrote, and I added my rap, and I said, hey, Don, don't you have a similar rap that's talking about, you know, being black and beautiful? He did that. So we have a great MD, Bryant, which is Brian Eichelberger. So I brought it to him and Chris Stafford. And so I said, hey, man, we need to bring this to a live format.
Yep.
And then Devin got a hold of it. And then we added some horn licks to it, myself, Don Green, and Ivan Ray. And so we built a live track around it. So what you hear on the recording is us. That's like one hit in the studio. We went down to
one
Starlink
live
studio.
recording. That's
One
why
live
it
recording.
sounds like a concert.
And then we went over it one more time and did another run through. Then we came in and put the lyrics. So what we did is, and what we want to do for the album, we're not tracking out anything. We're taking everything back.
Excellent.
Old school.
man.
Right.
Excellent.
Live instrumentation.
So everything you hear on there is 110% live. We did
All
some
right,
stuff
so
in post.
bands out there, you hear the
Step the
formula.
game
He's
up.
he's giving y'all the formula. Y'all better step it up.
Step it up.
So, well, I mean, I hope they do. I wish the best for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I think there's enough room in this city for everybody to do what they
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
And
To
yet
offer
everybody
their
still
different
get.
It's the
perspectives.
venues.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the venues. Can we go off on this tangent real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you the thing about the venues, and I'm saying this on the radio station now, and this is free advice. This is just how bands can be successful here. Find a venue to do a residency in.
Yep.
That's all we did at Zodiac Bar and Grill. We did a residency. Zodiac Bar and Grill was our place.
Yep. Every Friday.
I even now I'm just a giving dude, and I want everybody to grow. I even said, hey, the Fridays we not there, I shop at some bands. You know what happened? They didn't show up this Friday. They weren't consistent with it. But that was our venue. You know, even if you were invited by the Cats to play there on the weeks that we were off, because we said we got this locked down. This is a platform for bands. You play here. But that was our venue. All the band has to do is find you a residency at a venue, build your fan base up.
And be consistent.
And be consistent.
Consistency is key.
Consistency.
It's key.
You know,
Yeah.
start on time, relatively, as musicians can. Give the people a show. Treat the people right. Let your fans know you appreciate them for coming, and build a fan base. That's all we did.
Yeah. You know,
That's all we did.
it's interesting now that I'm looking at the format of how your show has always been. I don't think I've ever seen you guys headlining with anybody, with any other band. It's always been the Katz Downstairz.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? Like, is there a reason?
Yeah, I mean, you mean as far as a established band and on
or
national, or you just mean
national or local?
I mean, I guess, like, and I always say the band will tell you this is something I say. The Katz Downstairz is not just the band; we're a brand. Like even our shows now. You know, it's sometimes it's a real uncomfortable conversation with promoters, especially promoters that I know. But we promote ourselves, and I'm not saying that in an egotistical way at all.
Well, in this day and age, you have to.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it from an egotistical place. But what I'm saying is, we've built a brand so much that we have we make all of our flyers in house. We do all of our Facebook invites. That's in house. Any Facebook invite you see out there, any social media, I'm back there in between doing whatever else I got to do. Let's make this invite.
Yeah.
Gina, our manager, she does the flyers, or we outsource it, but we do everything in house because what happens is, before you can put other people on, you have to build up your own platform.
Right.
And that's what we do. So we do put. On our platform, we open it up to other artists. We open it up because you have to. That's why I'm trying to answer the question. That's why we focused on our lane and building something that was exclusively
makes a lot of sense.
ours.
It makes sense.
Not from a selfish format, but from a format of we want something that every musician in this band can eat off of. If you're leaving your family for 3-4 hours, you need to go home with some bill money, not just gas money.
That's deep.
You know, so we couldn't do so much with everybody else because we needed to build our own platform that musicians that were in the band understood that you are not just wasting time here and we're not just playing for giggles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is something that you could be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you didn't really see us share, because we were building our own brand, our own promotional
So let's go back to the beginning so that we can go to the end. Back to the beginning. How did you come up with a concept? You're the founder. What made you discover or want to even start the Katz Downstairz?
Okay, so what happened was there were a number of, I had 2 bands that I was involved with before. One was a brand with a friend of mine. His name is Isaac Lawrence. We used to just play banquets. Go around. We played everything from Music Soul Child to, and that's when I came across Blue.
I remember that.
Me and Blue did 1 or 2 gigs at Boomtown. Me and Blue.
It's funny. It's a funny story, but I'm not sure if you remember the band that I was in with Tommy called Even Still.
Yeah,
we got our start at Boomtown.
Come on, man. Boomtown was a beautiful place.
We had a gig at 9th and Main at the time.
Oh,
that was
I
open.
remember 9th and Main.
Yeah, 9th
We
and
left
Main.
the gig at 9th and Main, and Tommy's like, "What's going on here?" I think they were doing Vampire Improv, and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
And we walked down the street, walked in the door, and Stephen Dare was there.
Wow.
And we said, "We want to play here." He says, "Okay, come back Friday. You got a gig."
That's how they were.
We were like,
Oh,
"Okay."
Yeah, that's how they
so
were,
what
man.
we started doing, and it was interesting. We treated Boomtown like our residency, and we literally, it was supper club nights. People would come there and they would dine, and we told them, we're using this as our rehearsal time.
Yeah.
So we might make some mistakes. We might tell a few jokes. I might get mad at Tommy or something or whatever, but it's real. And it just reminds me of one day, this woman, everything was all original material. And I'm singing, and the majority of the stuff that I was writing was love, like about love. And the lady in the audience, she says, you guys sing a whole lot about love. What about a hate song? And I looked at her like, really? Like, what kind of question is that? Like, you really asking me to sing something about hate? And the name of the song is called It's Not About You.
Wow. Dope.
And I freestyled it, and it became a single. It's out there. It's on Bandcamp.
Really?
Go look. Damian Lamar, It's Not About You.
It's
You
Not
can
About
hear the
You.
song, and it's evolved since what we heard,
Yeah.
the Even Still days. But, yeah.
I wish
That's what happened.
I wish the Katz Downstairz was at the pre-Boomtown, the one on 8th.
The one on 8th.
That's the
Not
one I'm
9th,
talking about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about.
I wish,
yeah.
I
So
wish
that one.
the
That one,
Katz
Main Street.
Downstairs there,
Yeah.
or the one downtown, the
One
basement.
downtown
Boomtown
was dope, too.
Subterranea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was sexy.
Yeah.
That would have been like,
Yeah.
Man, I found what, I heard Leon Timbo there.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony David.
Anthony David. Come on, what you know about Anthony David?
I
Cameron
actually covered with did a show with Cameron Corvette.
Cameron Corvette, yeah.
That was, so
Jaguar White was there.
Yes,
sure was.
Guapale came.
That's right.
Guapale came.
Guapale came, and I missed it. I just wanted to be there so I could smell her.
But Nocturnal Escape was there, so they was bringing the big
very
name.
good. Yeah,
so
Nocturnal Escape. Shout out
Tiffany Duhart and Emmanuel Washington for creating that. Maybe they'll come back and do it like a anniversary. It's been 14 years now. Can you believe that?
Pretty dope. We need to put something together.
Yeah, you need to. Oh, you know what made the Katz Downstairz and Chris White so remarkable? They were one of the few bands who would do a show, start on time, show up, play a full set.
Just, the basics.
The basics.
Show up on time.
Right.
Start on time.
Such a novel concept.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
People came to see you. So
they showed up.
So I want to finish because I do want to get some shouts out to the name.
Sure.
So it was me and Isaac Lawrence. We had a band, and from there Isaac moved to Japan, I believe. He was in the military or North Carolina, something like that. So he left, and so I came across. I was at Grand Park, teaching at Grand Park, and we're doing this show, this variety show for the kids. Tanisha Tate was there. I'm sure y'all know Tanisha Tate. She sings.
I know Tanisha. Okay.
And walks up Cyrus Caranta. So me and Cyrus Caranta linked at that show, and we started a band called the Musicologists.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Full circle.
Full circle,
Yeah,
we used to play.
He was talking about that. If you go back and listen to some of the episodes, they talk at length about musicologists.
Musicologists, we had fun, man. And,
hottest band.
We used to love it. We used to play out of 5 Points Coffee and Spice.
Yes.
Right on. You remember 5?
I used to be there. Yeah.
Look, 5 Points was the spot.
I used to be.
Come on, I'm telling you, yes, sir. And we used to do everything.
It was,
and not just covers. Sometimes we just go off the cuff and play stuff. So, the Musicologists disbanded. We just went our separate ways.
Before y'all time. Y'all was before y'all.
Yeah, Musicologists was hot. And so at the end of Musicologists, Don Ernest Jackson came onto that, and Don was already playing, the trumpet player and vocalist for the Cats. He was already playing. So what happened was we decided to start another band. And Ernest Jackson and myself were neighbors, not neighbors, but roommates at the time. We were in this spot on San Marco. And above us, there was this doctor with his wife. Lynn Sharp was her name. And so she used to always ask us to feed the cats because they had money, man. They had money. You see it, the light bulb case? Let me show you how it happened, though. So, her and her husband would go out of town all the time. He was a doctor. They would go to India for like a month. They would go here for like a month. And she fed all the neighborhood cats. And she said, guys, I'm going out of town. Because we had a common area where she would come down and with me. I'm going out of town, guys. I want you to feed the cats. Can you do that for me? And Ernest was like, sure, we got you. And so we said, hey, man, we started practicing. Are we making too much noise? The band, we're starting up a new band. She said, oh, no, you guys are my own personal Katz Downstairz.
Hey.
Boom.
And he and I looked at each other, and it was like the light bulb. It was like, bing, bing. And so now the bittersweet part of that, a year later, Lynn Sharp died.
Oh.
But I believe it was brain cancer. She was so
may she rest in
sweet.
peace.
Rest in peace. She was so sweet to us. She allowed us to practice, her and her husband. She was an artist, brilliant, and just a beautiful human being. And so I wanted to give Lynn Sharp a shout out tonight. Her and her husband allowed us to make a whole bunch of noise. And develop a whole bunch of music.
Y'all sounded good.
Yeah. So that's the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I asked about the beginning.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to get the beginning in order to get the end.
You got it.
So here we're going to create this book.
Yes.
You mentioned a possible album in the summer. Mm-hmm. You also promised me you're going to give me an exclusive.
Absolutely. You got it. It's recorded right here.
So,
right here.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And can you, we're going to go out now, but take a quick moment and tell everybody how they can find you and where your next few gigs are.
Can I add this excerpt real quick?
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the song real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful, the song that we wrote. It was a song that I was real concerned with black images from the media to, I mean, we're seen as athletes, rappers, convicts, thugs, baby daddies, baby mamas, reality TV stars.
Yeah.
We're just seen as everything, and everything is just, it's almost like when Malcolm X was reading the dictionary in prison, and he went to white, and it was like pure, the color of God and heaven, and then he went to black, and it was like dirty soil. It's almost like these are the images of black and white in America. And so I'm like, yeah, but we have melanin in our skin.
Wow.
Like we've built the pyramids. We knew about distant galaxies before the Greeks even discovered what a telescope was. Like we've done all these beautiful things.
Yeah.
We're beautiful. Why aren't we talking about that? Why are we just talking about what we are in America instead of what we've been to the world? We are beautiful people. And since nobody's talking about being black and beautiful anymore, I wanted to write a song about being black and beautiful, because if you can be black and a baby mama and we joke about that, why can't I put out there, hey, you're beautiful. We need to tell it to these kids. Tell this little girl that so she won't rip out her precious hair trying to put weave in it at 7. Let her hair
Bleach
grow,
out
her
her
beautiful
skin.
hair. Yeah, bleaching your skin. You're beautiful. And we need, especially as males, we need to tell our
Yes.
children, our wives, our sons, like, you are beautiful just as you are. You're
Yes.
beautiful. So that was the intent of this song. Beautiful. I just want to add
Lovely.
that.
Lovely.
All right. So get in touch with us at Katz Downstairz, Katz. Downstairs ends in a Z. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. KatzDownstairz.com is our website if you want to book us. We have a booking tab there. Just send us all the information. Our manager, Gina, will reach out to you, and we'll get everything going, man. We're just trying to spread love, good energy.
We feel it.
Peace. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Feel
you.
it. Yeah. So any final words, Jihan?
No, I think he covered it.
Yeah.
It's good.
You guys are a beautiful union.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see that, and I have to acknowledge it every time I see it.
Appreciate it.
Cyrus and Lindsay were here.
Oh, yeah.
The Swades. Go back and listen to their show.
Okay.
When they came in, they sat exactly where you sat, and they oozed like, dude, just like it's coming out of their pores.
Love in the air.
Yeah, and it's funny because Cyrus actually he cooked. We invited me to their home, cooked.
It was real spicy, wasn't it?
It was very spicy, which I like.
Yeah, he likes spicy food.
Jackfruit. It was a jackfruit Thai dish that was amazing with lemongrass
wow.
and
love
lime.
that.
And
Nice.
next week it's my turn, so they're gonna have a taste test at my house.
Come on, man.
Nice.
Vegan style. So
Okay.
yeah. So Blue, can you take a quick moment and give us to take us out, man?
Oh yeah, before I do that, I would like to tell you a little funny story between me and Chris White. So,
Yeah, please.
So listen. Hey, listen. So
Stop recording, hit the stop button. I don't know what he's going to say.
listen. So
But wait, before that, let me not interrupt you. But Blue has this propensity of like, he saves these questions, kind of like a cow has like all these stomachs, and they go through the process. He'll let you go, I'll get all your questions in, and then he asks all his questions at the end. I'm like, how many questions?
Wrap it
Oh,
up.
I got 4 questions.
Never thought you that.
Right.
No, I'm not asking the question. No, I wanted to tell you. So when I first got in cahoots with Indo XO before they changed management, and then I think they had brought in the Katz Downstairz. So what we used to do is, they was to merge what we was doing, because we was like all over the place. Me and Seven was doing something there every week, and then they brought in the Katz Downstairz. So what happened was, I used to mess up their names at the beginning of the show.
Talk about it.
I used to be like, now, at first I used to be serious. I used to be like, hey, now I'd like to welcome the cat. I forgot what I used to say, the cats, the cool cats downstairs, something.
Cats under the stairs. Something,
Under
it
the
was
stairs,
something
yeah.
crazy.
So I used to say something crazy. So he would get back on before they set and go, we would like to thank Blue for life. Just Blue. And I used to be like, oh man. So I wouldn't take it a shot, but they'll take a shot back at me.
Yes, sir. You gonna get our name right.
I mean,
We gonna
I have
jack
a
up your
confession.
What?
The time that I did one song and I was testing it out, it was called I Feel Like Moving On. And I came to Indo XO. It was probably the same night. I was like, how am I going to get up and do this song?
Oh, I asked you to sit, yeah.
And you didn't pronounce my name right either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And that's today's shows on Taste Test Live. If you like what you heard, please follow us. Please follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Taste Test Radio. We also have a brand new website. It's hot because me and Damien on there on the banner at www.tastetest.live. There you can find all of our old episodes featuring some of our past guests. Taste Test Live is also a fully syndicated podcast and is on all podcast services such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Castbox, and more.
And I have to say, because I always ask everybody to give us a review because that's how we know you're listening.
Yeah.
Comment on Facebook, tweet. I'm
5 stars.
At Damien Lamar, at Blue Francois on Twitter, at Taste Test Radio. But guess what? We did get one review. And you know what he said?
What?
He said Damien is a very interesting interviewer and so are his guests.
Oh, nice.
So I have interesting people
Yeah.
on the podcast, present company included. So there you go.
Well deserved.
And
Well
that's our
deserved.
show for this week. I have to, of course, without saying this goes without saying. It's my honor, and I say this week after week after week, coming back in this new year, I appreciate the gifts that all the creators have bestowed upon me. But I produce, I edit, and I record this whole podcast.
Yeah.
And
By yourself.
by
Respect.
myself. So
Respect.
I'm looking for some interns who want to understand the art of audio production. If you're listening and you know someone who you think would be a good fit, sit and have fun. We have Autumn Lee, who is our production assistant and soon to be marketing liaison. And
Autumn's great.
she's awesome. She's awesome, and she knows she is. Autumn takes wonderful notes so that we can give you great synopsises on our when we actually do the podcast. So some of the text that you read comes from her ingenuity, and I have to give her credit for that. So also special thanks to our friends and our family, WJCT Studios, who is allowing us to use their space to record the podcast here.
Respect.
WJCT is a leader in public broadcasting here in Northeast Florida, and they've been around for 60 years and extended me the opportunity of bringing urban radio. And so my new tag for 2019 is that I am redefining urban radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
My definition of urban radio is not black. Urban is not black. Urban means city. It means culture. Urban is Chicago, New York, Miami.
Come on.
Jamaica.
It's metropolitan.
It's metropolitan. Yeah. And with metropolitan, you can get a little bit of France. You can get a little bit of Haiti. You get a little bit of the world. And I do my best to feature
build a culture,
a lot of culture, a lot of music through Taste Test, and it's an honor. So one last thing, I have to say this, I'm so excited. It has been 1 year since I've been on the radio, and we're having an anniversary party. Thank you. So those of you who are listening, if you live in the Jacksonville area on January 19th, exactly 11 days before my birthday, at Manifest Distilling, doors open at 8 o'clock. Everything happens at 9 and it goes until. We will also do a live radio broadcast on the first night of Taste Test. We used to be on Sunday nights, and now we're going to be effective January 19th on Saturday at 11 o'clock. So really, really excited about that. So please tell your friends, anybody at clubs, let them know they want to pregame on 89.9 before they get to the club or on their way to the club.
Yep.
And then the DJ's going to take care of them at the club, and then they can listen to whatever they want to afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So come out. We're going to have $5 drink specials. There'll also be exclusive performances and a roast for a friend of mine who is leaving, Keela. She's one of our very, very, very first podcast episodes she was on. And I'm going to get her back in again to talk about what she's done, how much of an impact she's made here in Jacksonville and in my life specifically in just a short 9-month period of time that I've known her. So we're going to roast her real good. And if you want us, we can do like some video roast, and I can put it up, and she won't even expect it. Make it now nasty roast. They're falling off the bone, kind of like tender roast. So that's it for us this week. Again, thank you so much for listening to Taste Test Live. I'm Damien Lamar. Blue, any final words?
I just want everybody to vibrate higher, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Vibrate higher.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So you heard it here first. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace and love.